Your shirt looks pretty good.
Yeah, it came out pretty good.
Do we have any more hangers?
Yeah, there should be another one underneath the shirt.
Ah.
All right, guys, here we're going to talk about the movie Hanger. 2009's Hanger Lee. Had you ever seen or heard of this movie before today?
I noticed you laughing a little when you asked me that. Of course not.
I don't think anyone has ever seen this movie or heard of it. It's never rented once from the store.
Well,
and I had not seen it till today. I've been looking at it for quite a while.
Interesting.
But finally was like, today is the day.
Okay, so this did not have your seal of approval going into this.
I knew nothing about it going into it.
Okay.
The box seems interesting. The stills look interesting.
Yeah.
I will say the movie is interesting.
Yeah.
I can't say that I endorse this unless you're a sadist and you want to do self-harm.
I think if you want to make movies and you have like a sense of humor that's like James Gunn's tweets that got him fired. If that's your thing and you've always wanted to make a movie but you're not sure if it would come out good and like what that would be if you just made a movie, I would watch this because this could be like a cautionary tale of like, don't go ahead and make that movie just because.
Yeah, it's very strange. Where like I also completely recommend watching it because it's fascinating that like it's even a thing.
Exactly.
And like it feels like a trauma movie. Even Lloyd Kaufman is in this movie.
Yeah.
But while it has that tone of like, oh, this seems like the quality of filming for trauma, it like is not a movie. Like,
no, and
it's not quite a horror. It's not quite a comedy. It's not quite a softcore pornography movie.
Barely soft.
Actually,
there is another genre out there, which is usually tied to like heavy metal. The people do like music videos sometimes too, and they think like gross stuff's really good and funny and fun. Again, if this like appeals to you, like this is what you want.
Yeah, most of my comments are this is not for your everyday movie goer at all.
But I'm not that person either, and actually I have a lot more to say about this than I thought I did, but we'll be in spoilers for that
Most
part,
definitely.
right? But just overall, right? This is the whole like, I know a chick, she's really obnoxious, she'll get naked, let's have a thing. Oh, he's a killer, how's he gonna kill the person? I don't know, guys just talk and then we'll throw something gross at you. Like it's a weird, and that sounds charming and like good, but this is garbage. And
the
like,
plot of this movie is a hooker is pregnant and her pimp forcefully aborts the baby. That baby does not die. It, in fact, grows up to the ripe old age of 18, where it meets its real, father, and they go on a revenge mission. And that's the setup here. Yeah. And if that sounds ridiculous and you need to now see this movie, I completely understand. But going into this movie, it's a very low budget movie that they put up what they had in budget into prosthetics and stuff that are like. Strange, which could be interesting for you.
We've watched things that are in this budgetary range,
most definitely,
and had positive things to say.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's the intersection of just this garbage sense of humor and this garbage like we're gonna make a like the audio is bad and
it's like the aborted fetus version of the Toxic Avenger, but without the charm or sense of humor that would have.
Yes. There's certain parts where like you can't tell, is it a joke that you're doing this? Why are you doing this? What's happening, right? There's not that it doesn't have a good sense of like, you expect this, but it's going to be that, and like that's a joke. It doesn't do that. It just strings these scenes together.
Yes.
But again, that's
garbage. A very good way of saying it.
It's garbage.
If you've seen this string of scenes, follow us over to spoilers. If not, punch out now.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
All right, so I think it's important. I just read this back of the box for a moment. So Hanger. From Ryan Nicholson, an acclaimed writer-director of the cult hit Gutterballs, comes this gruesome horror tale in which revenge is sweet and sick and twisted and definitely served cold. A balls-to-the-wall story of vengeance and murder that rises to new heights of perverse action and macabre behavior. 18 years ago, 9-month pregnant Rose, a wrong side of the tracks prostitute, was killed when her pimp gave her an abortion with a hanger. Now the deformed surviving child, who was thrown in a dumpster, left for dead, and mockingly called Hanger, is about to settle the score. And any street trash, sex degenerate, or murderous pimp better beware. Reminiscent of low-budget classics from the likes of director Lloyd Kaufman, who appears in the film as a tranny, and Herschel Gordon Lewis, Hanger carves a brutal and tasty slice of blood and guts in which no one is safe, no matter how fast they can run or how loud they can scream. Hanger, payback is a bitch of a whore. All right, so here we are for the spoilers on Hanger.
It sucks. It really sucks.
This movie was a chore.
Yeah, I want to make a point that I'm going to say things now which are like, this was difficult to watch. This was a challenging film. This was aggressively bad. And I need everyone to understand that I'm not like, oh, it's offensive. It's like too raw for you. You couldn't make it through. No, but like the movie's trying to be offensive and shocking and like be difficult to watch. But it's difficult to watch for a whole different, unrelated reason.
Yes, the production value on its own is hard to watch. The lack of, and I struggle to say, like, I assume it's scripted because I can't imagine a lot of this stuff, like an artist, an actor making the choice to say some of these things.
Yes.
And then I also think that like these prosthetics, I'm like, is that an aesthetic choice?
Die, Chinaman! Fucking die, you kick, motherfucker! Fucking Chinaman eat anything!
Or did no one was willing to say these things unless they could obscure their face?
Yeah, so many people just have fucked up faces.
Oh, die! That's disgusting, Hannah!
Yeah.
Just like, oh, like you live in Radiation Town and you have a weird face.
Like one of the main characters that is playing an Asian character.
Oh, look! It's a crab! Hanger got crab! Oh, Russell got crab too! Oh, boy! Oh, he's just a cute little sucker.
He's not Asian.
Oh, is he not?
No, it's a white guy doing a fake, horrible, offensive, racist Asian accent.
I thought at the very least it was an Asian guy doing an offensive Asian accent.
No.
But yes.
I had to look it up. I wasn't even sure. The main pimp is Leroy.
Yeah.
And I was like, is Leroy actually a black guy?
You got it, bitch.
Is he?
Or he is. Because I was like, is this movie just like hiring a bunch of white dudes to make offensive racist things? And like only half. So I guess we're okay.
No, and like again, right? Like the audio's bad, and so is the like a lot of it's like dubbed in. It seems like, and people are doing weird voices and weird shit. Like it's literally difficult to understand what is happening.
And because there's no
spots.
motivation for a lot of these characters, why is it happening? So like to start it off, you have this character, a prostitute who has.
We're in the past.
Yes.
18 years ago.
Who has she's pregnant.
Listen, Rose, I can't do this anymore. Not with you all knocked up, it ain't right. I brought you this.
And you don't know then who it's by, but you do meet the father, in quotes.
He says something like, I ain't your dad because I always busted in her mouth and not in the, I always left it in the mailbox instead of behind the thing.
I'm your father, boy, I know I am. Now you see here, I always left my deposit in the box, not with the teller.
Some craziness. And then
some sort of deal.
He references how, I loved your mother, this and that. But I'm like, it didn't appear that way in the past. Like, it's maybe you cared about her because you gave her some money to go straighten her life out. But you weren't like, come with me. You must be taken from this world.
So this is her like best John, who says like, listen, you're all knocked up. I can't keep screwing you and paying you. She's like, I need the money. He's like, take this teddy bear, take some money for the baby, but we're done.
Now this is it. You take this and you put this away for the baby.
And then her pimp, finds the money and it all goes downhill from there. It results in an abortion.
Your baby ain't shit!
Right?
Yes, a forceful abortion from her pimp.
Yes.
Who thinks he's going to get her to work again, but like first make sure to cut her face very badly.
Lay on your motherfucking back, bitch.
And I'm like, if this is your property, that's not really maintaining your property. You're quite a bad property manager.
We can't analyze the motivations of a pimp.
So
There's
you
obviously
can't
problems with
analyze
that
the
in
motivations of
first-
any character in this
the first
movie.
place,
So the
yes.
next thing you see is it's 18 years later. That baby had been scooped out of the dumpster by a homeless man and raised for 18 years. And upon the 18th birthday, this John comes back into this now adult's life to like take over. And I'm like, if you knew where he was for 18 years. Why did you wait?
Yeah.
I don't understand what this was.
Because now he's legal. Now now he can fuck him.
Now he is an adult. Like, and it was seemingly
Yes.
just because it's like, I need a compatriot from our revenge plot. Will that be you, Razortooth child? What?
I don't know.
No one knows.
No, and like we shouldn't even analyze that stuff. That's not
You
even the
can't.
movie.
You can't.
Yeah, because like let's say we had everything to do with this movie, but we time traveled to 2008 and a half, and we were able to like influence it. Right? You'd be like, oh well, the quote unquote dad could be like setting up the kid to like take the fall, and he's really trying to do this, and then it becomes a thing where Hanger has to
Anything.
also kill the person who he thought was his dad. You could do like a joke reverse Star Wars thing where he's like, I ain't your dad, and he's like, good, and like kills him or something like that. Do a whole like you could inject story into this movie.
He could have been raising him to be a killing machine the
Yeah.
whole time, and you could have had that cool like Toxic Avenger style
Yeah.
thing where like, oh, he's super strong and he's
Or
got
like-
the strength of a baby. I don't know what his
Oh,
thing
an
is.
aborted fetus. Yeah, something goofy, just to be like he's had to survive and out here this whole time, and he's like a unleashed raving lunatic killing machine.
Or you have it like no influence from the father, and like it's just this monster that was growing in the sewer, and now it is ready to kill. I don't know. There's not a good time release mechanism for what you have here.
No, and there's not a good
why
bridge.
it takes till it's 18.
Like I think the box or like the Wikipedia page or IMDb, something sells it as a revenge tale, as if it's Hanger's revenge.
Yeah, I think
tale.
it says like Hanger,
But-
revenge is a motherfucker or
Yeah,
something
but-
as the tagline.
But he doesn't know about any of this.
yeah, it's an infused revenge tale for him.
His possibly fake dad shows up and just takes him along. But again, like that's not the tension of the movie, is that Hanger needs to realize who killed his mom and then kill him or something. Right?
Yeah.
There's something in there, but is right?
In
Doesn't make
almost the
sense.
same breath of the dad picking him up, be like, I'm your dad. Oh, I set you up with a job and an apartment, and this and that.
Yeah.
He's like, I got you a hooker. Let's kill her together.
The easy way or the hard way? You're gonna hate the hard way forever, boy.
Like, I was like, where is his motivations?
Yeah.
You kind of struck him as being this like, like, oh, I want to be a good dad. Oh, I loved your mother. You want to kill hookers with me?
Well, they don't start off killing the hooker.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost
Well,
immediately.
The hooker will not fuck Hanger because of his messed up face.
Yes.
And then the dad's like, we could have done this the easy way, now we're going to do it the hard way. And he like grabs her and then
And just
they're-
slams her head in
and
the
they're
door
gonna kill
repeatedly.
her.
And that was a decent effect.
I'll get ahead in the fucking door. And one, and a two, and a three.
Yes, it was a decent effect. And then he chastises Hanger for not wanting to fuck the corpse, right? Again, we should say too, like in the abortion scene, like you see it. You see things
Oh yeah,
happening.
there's a lot of
And, like-
actual prosthetics that you're like, for a moment you're like, what am I looking at here? Because
Yes.
like there's some anatomy there that looks like you could be looking at something legitimate.
Well, no, I mean, like in my notes, I'm like, oh, are we gonna see the abortion? Is that a vagina? Oh my God! Like that's
yeah,
my
it's like a
bullets
half
in my
cast
notes.
of like a woman that they pull
Well,
a aborted fetus out of that's
yeah,
like a
yeah.
full term baby.
I was gonna say, like, there's definitely a
It's
fake.
like an 8.5 month
Yes.
abortion. Yeah.
There's definitely a fake vagina out of which they pull like
Yes,
a wet
yes.
thing. There's also real vaginas, and I'm not sure if like any of that scene was a real vagina. It's
Couldn't tell you.
Crazy. I can't say the word vagina any more times legally, so we're done. But yes, you see it. It's like gross or whatever. That effect is okay. There's some weird blood gore stuff happening,
Yeah.
right? But the movie's already established this tone. So by the time they're like killing the hooker, there's no like, oh, I see. This is meant to shock me, and now I understand that even like the good guys are also like depraved lunatics. Or are we setting up that like Hanger's not like this, and even his quote unquote dad, is like a bad guy that and Hanger has to kill everyone. You know,
yeah, no one's motivations seem to stay true, and they do seem to like wave in the breeze. But for what the movie is, none of that really matters.
No, we're asking a lot.
Like this is a movie where somebody gets like sexually assaulted through their colostomy bag hole.
Yeah, okay.
And that should tell you almost all you need to know about a movie.
And you would think like, again, it's
shown
like,
in graphic detail. This
Yeah.
is a thing, like usually I'll show clips and be like, oh, look at this.
can't
Have
show
this.
these clips.
Almost, I'd say 80% of this movie you can't show because either
Yes.
it's filled with nudity of things that are actually happening in the scene, or in almost every scene, the walls are just papered with like torn and pasted like pornographic
porn,
magazines.
images, yeah, which are small, but still. It's like, no, and like, it's literally what I assume is a fake cock fucking a,
it has to
a like weird hole with like, pudding around it or
Yes.
something like that. I mean, I'm not pointing out that he's not really fucking his stoma or whatever it's called, right? I'm just saying like,
I don't know what it's called, and I'm grateful.
I'm just saying like, you see it. There's no
Yes.
like,
You see it for like a minute and a half.
Yeah, these are like the money shots or like whatever. And just as you have this yang, you also have the yin, which is like the boss or the foreman's daughter, Nicole, gets introduced, and it's
Yes.
like that's Nicole and her twat and stuff. And
she's constantly naked.
It just keeps cutting back to her in like the office of what I think is a trash factory. I'm not sure where the fuck they are.
I don't know what it is. A
we
lot
don't
of the
wanna get into all
scenes
this.
I
Yes.
think are all in this cinder-blocked white room.
Yeah.
Gets recycled for like a lot of the set.
Gee. Oh. You hear something?
And then there's this recycling plant or something that is recycled a lot, where
Yes.
like all kinds of ridiculous things happen, and the pornography that's in their house is also there. Like it just
Well, because that's that's what they do.
I guess.
So we should say real quick, or I want to say really quick, that the only good shot in the movie, when he's introduced to the trash factory, there's like a panning shot where there's a Russell's throwing beams and there's a dude welding behind him and there's somebody else and it's panning slowly and there's multiple things happening. That shot was a good shot. Sure. Possibly the only good shot in like literally the entire thing. But it keeps cutting back to like Nicole, who's like touching herself, masturbating.
Yeah.
There's a vibrator at one point. At one point she lights candles, throws down like a
moving blanket.
I was gonna say I thought it had like a fancy name, but yeah, like the blankets that come in the back of a UPS truck, like literally that blanket, and puts down little votive candles and then lays there naked for our pleasure or something,
Yeah.
which is not that's not sexy. That's weird.
No, but that's it pads the time,
Yeah.
and like I think that's what a large chunk of the audience is in this for, just for
guess.
the ludicrous nudity.
Pornography exists though. You can just get that.
I know.
Yes.
But the
Oh,
other
I
half,
know.
The other half of the audience here is for these just like ridiculous lines and offensive like visuals. Like you
Yes.
have a character who's playing this a mentally challenged, stereotypical Chinese guy who makes tea from tampons.
Used
both
tampons.
both
Fresh or vintage? Fresh. Save you for later.
fresh and old, all used.
That made me smile when he's like, vintage or fresh? Because he's kept one for years or something like that. Yes. Something about that could be funny, but the whole premise, again, these are James Gunn's tweets. I'm going to make tea. Oh, she's so hot. I want to make tea out of her used tampon, right? Which that could be funny in like the right hands, but these are not those hands, right?
You know, like when, like in a Twilight Zone or something, like you'd out of the mirror would be like the evil one and the good one. This is like what Chris Seaver's evil doppelganger would make, where it's like not funny and it's like crude, but in a bad way.
Right. Chris Seaver, of course, we are fans of his work. Makes
Huge fans.
Zero budget movies that have a certain wit and je ne sais quoi to them, right? And this is similar. Like if you look up whoever made it, I think the guy that plays the bum is the director.
He's here right now. For you.
The guy who's like, get out, you're 18.
He did have actor credits, but I didn't.
I think I don't know anymore. But
his like raised father who gets killed by his
temporary
actual father.
That was
almost
funny too.
immediately.
When he just runs him over, that could be funny. There you go.
Did you feel that? Gonna be a bumpy ride. welcome to the rest of your life.
A lot of this
there's
had
a few things
potential
that could
to
be
be funny
Yes.
if
Well, no,
you did
but
it
the,
differently. And this, the
yeah.
same guy made, and they showed it on the cover, Gutter Balls.
Yeah.
The trailer, I've never seen that one. We've seen the trailer. I'm like, that looks really good. And that spawned a sequel, and I think a third one.
Okay.
But looks like the same style of this, but done correctly,
But better
maybe.
or whatever?
And
Yeah,
again,
no,
I've only
like-
seen the trailer, so it could
Yeah.
totally be not what I think it is.
On this guy's Wikipedia page, it says like director and special effects guy or something.
Yeah,
like
and he's
that.
done some real
So he
special
was
effects, like
the,
for like Predator and stuff. Like,
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But yeah, that,
I don't know
like,
to what extent it could have been
yes.
like he held the mannequin. I don't know.
But that's what we're talking about. Is someone who's like, and we've been there. We've known people who've been there, right?
Yeah.
You want to make a movie. Maybe you have a horrible sense of humor. Maybe you're interested. How come I've never seen anyone fuck a colostomy hole before? We're
These
gonna
are questions
do it.
that have to be answered.
We're
and they
gonna
are
do it, guys.
in this film.
Yes.
There's a reason why you don't do that apparently.
Like pushing the envelope and making it like.
and they
as gross
definitely,
as
you
it
can
could
see they tried to
possibly be.
push the envelope here. In the opening scene, we got to mention where you see Lloyd Kaufman. Lloyd Kaufman
Yeah.
plays a transvestite prostitute.
Leroy, you're nothing but a filthy pimp. That's what you are. You abuser of women. You filthy goddamn pimp, you.
And they're punishing the whole lot of the girls because they're bad pimps.
Well, off camera, whoever's dubbing Lloyd Kaufman's dialogue said like, "Leave her alone" or something like that.
Do you think it's dubbed? I
don't know.
I don't know. I kind of thought that was him.
Well, it might be dubbed by Lloyd Kaufman.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, but it's not
But
happening.
then they burn off his penis.
Yes. And he goes, my dick! Yeah.
I want to keep my penis. I don't give a shit.
We got the best of them. You don't fucking need a rope, motherfucker. That's right.
You okay? You're a homo. I know you're a homo. My dick. Ah, my dick.
We can't show that. I have to do it. We can't show it.
I can zoom in on that one.
We can crop the dick
Yeah.
out. Yes.
Lloyd, always fun. I like him. I
Yes.
like Trauma. I like the things he does. And like it's not hard to get him. We've got him in movies before
I was
too.
gonna say, we
so
know-
like
we-
I know the.
I'm glad you
I know
gave
the
up that
game.
detail, 'cause it's
Anyone
like-
can get Lloyd
we're
Kaufman
not-
for a mere $200 and sending a limo.
Yeah, we are not impressed by having
Yeah.
Lloyd Kaufman in a movie.
But I am often impressed by what he puts on screen.
Yeah.
They didn't give him a lot here. He was
No, this is literally
moments,
him
yeah.
just like, you know.
it like you see him for two like short scenes, and I was like, is that Lloyd Kaufman? And
Yes.
then they zoom in on him in the next part he's shown, and I'm like, holy shit, that's Lloyd
Holy
Kaufman.
shit!
And this is early on in the movie where I'm like, oh, there might be potential for this project, but it very quickly lost all my expectations and kept spiraling down. But I keep coming back to though, you almost have to see this movie though because it's so ludicrous that it even exists. Like I can't even imagine having your casting call, like what sides do you have people read for this movie? And then assuming there are none, let's just say it was like, well, who sent in headshots? You got the job. How much must you have paid some of these actors to be in this film?
No, this is
or
just,
once you've read the script to accept to be in this film.
Yeah.
Unless they're just all friends of yours from other projects and they're like, okay, yeah, but you got to cover my face and distort the shit out of me. But then you had like girls who I'm like, not only were you fully, your faces in this shot, some of them weren't, some had prosthetics across their faces. But are like in this movie, and some of them are like, I'm like, okay, you're like a scream queenie kind of thing, where you're in a lot of other
Weird. Okay.
horror movies, but usually probably to this effect, where it's just know low on the acting, high on the nudity. And I guess that's better than being
I don't think
real
every
porn.
I don't think every actor always knows what the project is or what's happening. And I feel like Russell and Phil and the dad and Leroy, like those might just be people that signed up for. Well, not even because I think
Leroy's a real actor.
Yeah, I was gonna say Leroy's an actor, but
he's unrecognizable though.
And he was
in
only
his other parts.
and he was only there for like the two. He's only like right. He's just gonna do his stuff. So yeah, you get a project. You're like whatever. You don't know, and they say this is a really offensive comedy. We're trying to do this funny thing where it's so gross that it's crazy or whatever. But yeah, I think a handful of them had to be on board.
I think there's
the whole
money
time.
to be made though in this movie. Like we've known people that make that twist their horror to a fetish market. And I think you 100% can do that here, and I think there's money to be made. Like this movie was $15, so like that was the retail suggested price or whatever that
Yeah.
that has been spent on this film, and we did not know going into what this was. No one's ever rented this, or I'm sure we would have heard something about it.
I was gonna say,
but
and like,
some people have bought this. I'm sure that they've sold a whole bunch of this.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's
No,
a,
and like
it's
the
a
people who-
feature-length movie
the
with
people who-
various fetishes crossed off here.
the people who've made it have gone on to make like more stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like if it was maybe I don't understand fetishes, but I like.
None of these certainly.
But there's a part, I think it's like cross-cutting from the colostomy bag scene to like a naked woman scene.
Yes, I believe
Right?
I believe you're correct.
Yeah, which like even if you wanted to see one of those things and that's why you're watching it, seeing the other right next to it would like break the like
I think there
effect.
were actually three
right?
things happening at the same time.
Three horrible things happening.
Yeah, I can't remember what the
yes.
third thing was.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the dad and that hooker. I don't remember.
Right, but there.
But yeah, it was like three drastically different. I'm like, what the
like-
fuck is this?
But like that's a technique that legitimate movies use so that you can't beat off to it because it's gonna keep cutting back to like the horses running through to like stop the king but they're in the castle fucking and it goes back and forth and then the battle and like the thing so then it's not just porno, right? But like here, if you just wanted to make porno, just show me uninterrupted kinky
but
weird
even the
shit,
things
right?
there,
Yeah.
like it was all like grotesquely done. Where like,
Yeah.
it's like nothing about this is attractive. It's awkward.
That
and I
might
think
be
that's
their,
part of
that
maybe
might be
that
their
is
thing.
Yeah,
That's what they
maybe.
want is horrible awkward stuff.
Yeah.
With the Asian dude like crouched below her and stuff. Weird.
Yeah.
Like what is happening?
To then
Yes.
get choked to death with a bloody tampon.
Say, motherfucker.
And I'm sure someone's like, "What?
No,
you don't
I-
need to see it."
No, the
But you
colostomy.
kind of need to see it.
No, I don't even want to give it that because and again, not because I'm like this is offensive and should not be shown.
No, that's
I don't
not
think
my-
it's worth it. I think that like yes, if you just want to study everything and you're curious, like I watched a Serbian film. When I hear
But that's
something,
a well-made movie.
That is a
It's
movie.
Horrible. It's horrible visual-wise, but that's a movie,
nothing. Yes.
and it's definitely effective at what it is doing.
Right.
This I more suggest because I'm like you have to see this to be like
Yeah.
this means anything is possible.
This is a weird curiosity versus
Yeah.
like don't see this in spite of how offensive it is because you need to know the true darkness of the human soul. See this because it's such a weird bad garbage thing, right? You're not saying like it must be seen to believe it's so bad.
No, yeah,
it's like
it's
no.
not. Oh my
It's
God,
like-
how could they get away with such offensive things? No,
Yeah.
like it's like how could they make this movie honestly? And
or
for,
why would you do this? Yes.
I'm more impressed at like not that someone could write this, is that you could actually get all the people on board to help you make this.
Yeah.
It's fascinating in that regard that
Okay.
that you can meet like there's a soulmate for everyone, and you can meet enough like minds that can make any project happen. It's certainly that for me where I'm like, whoa, I will never watch this movie again.
No. I almost
there's
turned
no
it off.
reason.
I almost turned it off in the middle.
So I usually, when we talk about a movie, watch the movie and then I'll watch it again to take
you've-
notes
yeah,
or something.
Or you've seen it like years ago, so you
Yeah.
can say like, oh.
So I know like what's going to be important, what I should think about
exactly,
callbacks.
right.
This one, I think I got through the first 20 minutes, and I was like, yeah, I should take notes now because I'm not watching this again.
Like I'm taking a break. I mean,
Pretty much.
I took a break in the middle, honestly. Something came up, but I was like, oh, perfect. Yes, I'll do that.
Turn the channel.
So there's a point where a Jehovah's Witness lady shows up, and he's
Oh,
like,
yes,
this fat
yes,
chick
yes.
or whatever. Yeah, no, I liked that too when he goes, fuck off and die.
Same lady. Fuck off. And die.
Right?
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
funny little
That
button
delivery
or
was
something.
great.
But then the Jehovah's Witness lady is just suddenly inside of like the building, and then Hanger attacks her and like bites off her tit and is like suckling at like the bloody wound of her tit, I think, and mumbling something about his mommy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I'm into it. I thought, okay, maybe there's some dark, twisted, because he has mommy issues, because
Yeah.
he, and like he sees his mom in like the porno when they have it on. He's like, what the fuck? That's my mom and all that stuff. So I was like, oh, maybe it will be a dark, interesting, exploration of the human psyche.
No.
And having finished this, it is not. I often make a comment like, oh, this movie was too long or something like that. This is like a 90-minute movie. It should have been like 50 or like 43.
Yeah.
Like it should have been like,
A lot of
here's
things
just the shitty stuff.
weren't needed. Like you have the payback of like his dad wants to kill this guy in the longest convoluted way to get revenge. Where it's like, all right, first I'll take him out financially, and I'll kill his hookers, and then I'll kill him, and I'll do blah. And you're like, what?
Now I know how to get him. He's got to pay for his sins. Pay for what he did to your mama, and pay for what he did to you.
Why did you
No.
wait 18 years for any of this? Because like
spring
most of
this
this doesn't
trap.
seem to need your son
Yeah.
at all, and then you end up looking like Hanger because the Leroy catches you off guard and burns
Yeah.
you alive with a hanger.
Right. Right, and he's had all that time, like you said, to like spring the trap, which is just him independently while Hanger's at like work at the trash factory.
Yeah.
The dad's just going around talking to the hookers until like the second or third one. He's like, no, fuck you. Leroy's there and gets him, right? It's this dumbass.
What is it? He gets
like,
tortured by like the new lead hooker with like you've heard of a dirty Sanchez. This is like
this is a dirty Leroy.
smelly Irene or
Something like that,
some
yeah,
horrible thing. Oh God. I do like that there's some attention to detail where it's 18 years later and the dad and Leroy are aged.
Yes.
And-
Looks like I already knew, motherfucker.
I'm like, okay, that's an impressive thing that I wouldn't have
Yes.
expected from this movie. Like,
No,
at
big
all.
time, big time. Where I was like, wait, is that the same guy? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I had a moment there.
Yeah,
Yes.
I didn't catch what the budget was on this. Did you see
I
that
did not
anywhere?
see it
I don't know if
anywhere.
that was written anywhere.
I
for
assume
this.
it's very small.
Yeah, like
Yes.
it just seems like they had some latex to make some masks and stuff. They had access to this, that, and the other thing. I can't imagine it being a too big a budget
Yeah.
because visually, if it is, I'm like, where did it go?
Well, I don't know the rest of this guy's work, but I saw like an interview where he refers to Hanger and a few other things. But just there's a general vibe. At one point, he says like, "I've been kind of ostracized. I'm not like a Hollywood type, and then people don't like my stuff." Because he was in like a collaboration, and he was like, "Oh, this is a big deal because I've been like kept out of those or something like that." So I don't know if he's delusional or maybe the rest of his work, you know, like you were saying, the gutter ball thing may have been better or different. This I
don't
think is
know-
one of his early things. So
Yeah,
I think he's still
the
getting
Gutterball
his,
one though. I think he
yeah.
worked on, but I don't think he wrote that one. So I think
Okay.
that's why that one has the
Yeah,
different
yeah,
feel. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But something there, it felt that one feels like a real movie. I'm like, oh, this is on actual cameras. Like I could see everything.
Yeah, no, and you know, again, like that alone would not ruin it for me. Just,
No, not at all.
Just being visually shitty looking, right? Like that we can get past, but it's just nothing is good.
Their coworker, like Russell and Hanger are roommates. But
Yes.
Russell constantly goes back and says like, oh, I come back to my place.
Yeah, stop by my place tonight. We got some serious drinking to do.
I'm like, come back to my place. You live in the same house. It's the same room. Honestly.
There's just a room. There's
Yeah.
just a room that they film some scenes in. Usually it's rape. Sometimes it's murder. It's just a room where they go.
So
There's no
like their coworker
point.
sneaks in, like drugs them with a personal pan pizza.
Pizza man, free pizza on the house. There you go.
Free, you say?
Dressed like Santa Claus, and has his way with them. And I'm like, that's such a weird choice because like, I guess you weren't really feeding your crew because that could have been an excuse to just buy a real pizza for the day's work, and then because it's a personal pan, ugly-looking pizza. Where I'm like, where did you get this? Kmart? Like, what is this?
It's a weirdly bad-looking pizza.
And it's in a plain box, and he says like, "Oh, we recycle those," and I'm like, "That's a weird line."
He needs to justify why he's still
Yeah,
in
I
there
know,
while
why he's
they're eating.
staying.
Okay, yes, but I'm sure for the audience.
But for the
to see.
characters he's talking to, you wouldn't think he would need a line like, "Oh, I'll sit here, hang on a long day," and just
They're like, free pizza?
Yeah.
Okay.
very weird.
It's free. Yeah, and that guy's doing this weird raspy voice thing where he's unrecognizable. I'm sure it's to make him unrecognizable, like you've been saying. But it makes it so hard to understand what the fuck's going on. You can't see people's mouths right. You can't hear them right. They're
Yeah,
doing
and they all
weird
have nose
voices.
prosthetics and
It's
stuff, so it's
fucked
hard to
up.
hear.
It's so awful. Everything is so much work. It's so hard to get through.
There's a weird Warriors reference where he has like the bottles.
Izzy, come out and play.
Filthy, come out and play. Filthy, come out and play.
You know, the other guy just starts running down the thing and says, "That's beer," and like, I gotta go or whatever, and that's like dubbed in. There's another scene where I'm pretty sure Hanger is supposed to be having dialogue, but it's like missing. That was weird. It's weird that only happened once, but you can't see his face. But Russell's reacting as if he's talking, I think, or it's really felt really weird. It's right around that same time is why I'm like thinking of it. Yeah.
Yeah, when you see Hanger's face, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's either
but
fine,
it is
it's
covered
good,
almost the
stuff.
entire movie
Yes.
because you're not going to be applying that prosthetic all 3 days of the shoot.
Day in,
that
day
would
out,
be crazy.
and then day in, and then day out, and then we leave early the third day. So we gotta go get dinner. Don't tell the whole kid. Don't tell the girls about the dinner. We don't want everyone showing up.
Mama had a baby and it's shit fucked out. Oh. Oh.
One thing that I liked, I don't want to say too many things that I liked. After they kill that Jehovah's Witness lady, the dad comes in and has this long like pep talk with Hanger, and like I'm sure as like an afterthought, they dub in like squishy, squishy noises.
What the hell happened to you? Listen, boy. Time you learn the truth.
For anyone walking, Russell comes in, does the whole thing, and that is the type of Chris Seaver sense of humor that I wanted, for them to just not acknowledge this murder and to have there be so much blood everywhere that you can't even walk without making squishing noises.
Yeah.
That would have been like, oh yes. I was like, yes, and this happens kind of early, so I was like, all right, this movie might be okay.
Yeah, there's only a few lines that even are like remotely funny and tolerable for me. I like Russell says like, my asshole still hurts, you asshole.
My asshole still hurt, you asshole.
Like just something about saying asshole
many
twice.
Yeah,
it
right.
was funny.
Right in the beginning, the bum dad says like, I can get pussy all the time, 24/7, 365 fucking days a week.
I can get pussy now, 24/7, 365 fucking days a week. You hear me? So get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Right, and you're like, okay, that's funny. You did a thing.
Or you're like, okay, am I setting up what's going to come? Is this going to be the little taste of what the whole movie is? But not really.
Yeah, honestly, like when it starts and it's just this weird pimps and hoes and like stuff, I was like, oh, this is a fake out. This movie's from the 2009. This is like a movie that
inside a movie.
Yeah, Hanger's watching this in his like whatever, and then they're gonna go right.
Unfortunately, not.
No,
it does start out with like probably the worst visually looking scene too, where you're like, this is what did you shoot this on?
Bitch, better have my money.
And the audio and the visual, it's like so bad.
It's like you filmed it on a bad camera, then played that on a CRT and recorded that with a worse camera.
And then said, this audio is shit, we have to dub it in and just do, hello, I'm the third person, I don't have many lines.
Yeah.
And then just go, yeah, it's like crazy bad. And I wasn't sure, I'm like glad to hear you say that stuff was even worse. Because I was like, am I just getting used to it?
It got better, like, but not much better.
Like, is this movie destroying my brain? Have I become like accustomed to how it is by the end? But yeah,
it's
an experience.
Two shots that are like still in my head. I want to mention like they do a face stomping on like I think it was the rapist guy when they crush his head in, and I'm like that looked pretty good.
Yeah.
And when his dad comes in with like dual guns, one of those guns is like RoboCop's gun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah, and weird.
So I was like, this is okay.
Should we talk about the climactic shootout
Sure,
you're talking about there? That's pretty good. Yeah, it's finally time to have our like revenge, and we only have this one set, and we can't fire off the things or whatever they did indoors. So it's this weird, poorly lit outdoors shot where it takes way too long, and they just shoot at each other from like 20 feet away, and
like Naked Gun style, where no one hits for such a long time.
And then they both finally just start hitting each other.
Yeah,
they keep shooting and keep hitting each other.
Yes.
Only easy day was yesterday, Hanger, and he dies.
Only easy day was yesterday.
And then Hanger grabs Nicole and says, I want to make a baby, and just runs off. And the movie ends.
Give me baby.
That's the movie.
That's Hanger.
That's Hanger. It changed my life.
For the worse.
Yes.
took years off it.
Literally. It hurt to watch this, I think.
No, this movie cures cancer though, because cancer just leaves your body and just to get away.
It says there's no more life here. There's no point in sticking around.
Yeah.
Anything else in your
I don't have anything left to say about this movie. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
No, you ain't, Urkel. Step back, boy. That's between me and the pimp.
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only us. Our expert staff opinion